everything we did right was the day we started to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. What's up? How you doing? Welcome back to A Moment of Clarity with yours truly, Aaron Thomason. I'm super excited that you're with me. But you know my question. Did you give this to 3 people? Did you bring somebody with you? Hey, did you put the big fella to work? All right, remember, we're the place for perfectionists and overthinkers to get some clarity and confidence by taking the next step in the direction of their goals, ending the cycle of frustration and self-doubt. Now, I want us to go ahead and jump on into it, but I want to ask you this question first. I want you to think about this. And maybe you grew up like I did. You know, when I grew up in Detroit, if there was a dog on the loose, you took off. You wasn't asking no questions. You wasn't looking for no neighbors. You wasn't looking to see if the dog tagged. If a dog was loose, you was out. You ain't care if it was a big dog or a little dog. The moment you saw it, because you wasn't trying to get ate up, you wasn't trying to get bit, what did you do? Where I'm from, you took off. You took off like your pants was on fire. Like it's in the DNA. It's to the point now that if I see a loose dog right now, I start looking at it sideways and I might start running. Because we saw things in the neighborhood where dogs was biting folks, and Rottweilers and pit bulls and you name it. And we didn't want that smoke. We didn't want that to be our fate. So there was a level of motivation to go ahead and get out the way so you didn't have to deal with the potential scars, injuries, that could come with you getting bit. Why am I talking about dogs in the neighborhood growing up in Detroit? Because it was about the motivation. Yeah. See, this year, if you're going to achieve everything that you see in your mind for it to be the reality in which you live in, you got to have some motivation. You got to have as Simon Sinek says, you got to have your why, right? It has to make sense. If you got a goal, the goal isn't good enough if there isn't the right motivation attached to it. I want to talk about 4 reasons why having motivation is important if you're going to achieve your goals this year. I want to talk about them, right? And I'm going to give you the 4 in front. 1, it gives you the ability to be able to push through when things get difficult. 2, the work that you put in, that seems like it's worth the effort. 3, the goal actually seems easier when you actually have motivation. And 4, it keeps your eyes on the prize. All right, let's go ahead and go to it. Number 1, it allows for you to push through. Listen, we know that the great goals and dreams that are in our minds, the plans and the goals that we have, they're not going to be easy. Let me just say that to you again. Let me just get that off the table. It's not going to be easy because you're going from a place that you know, familiar, into a place that you don't know, unfamiliar, and that gap in between is the process. And what happens is we have a tendency to lose our dreams, to lose our promise in the process. That somewhere in between these 2 spaces here, the familiar and the unfamiliar, is that gap, and we lose our promise in the process. That's why you got to have motivation, because it allows for you to push through. It allows for you to be able to say, I might be a little tired, but I can give a little bit more. I might be in a space, but I can give just a little bit more. That's what it does for you. It allows for you to push through the difficult times. It actually allows for you to push through the beautiful times. Because if you don't have the right motivation, whether it's good or bad, you will get lost in the midst of the process and your promise goes there. And you look up another year's gone by and you're like, how am I still in the same spot? Because difficulty and victory in the midst of the process are both distractions. So that's why motivation is key, because motivation, number one reason to have motivation is because it allows for you to push through the process. All right. Number 2, It actually gives you the opportunity. Number two, the work seems worth the effort. Yeah, you heard that? And some of y'all just tuned out because I said work. Yeah. You're going to have to go to work. Because see, that gap, which is the process between where you are and where you want to be, the familiar versus the unfamiliar, in order to close that gap, it's going to take some hard work. But until you have the right motivation, it ain't even going to feel like you want to do it. You're going to be sitting back saying like, why am I doing this? And a lot of us have given up on our goals and dreams for years, not just a year, not for months. We've given up on those for years because the motivation wasn't right. Maybe it's because you was trying to impress some girl when you was in school. Maybe it's because you was trying to get you a car. Maybe it's because you was trying to impress your boss so you can get a promotion. I don't know what it was, but here's what I do know, that it wasn't worth it to you. So you didn't have the motivation. Therefore, the work didn't seem worth the effort. And again, you lose the promise in the process. All right, that's number two. Number three, the goal actually seems easier. Man, wait a minute. You've been talking about hard work and everything else? Oh, yeah. See, when you got the right motivation, the goal seems easier to attain. How is that possible? That is possible because all of a sudden your actions and everything that you're doing actually now makes sense. It's redeemable. So you actually get perspective to say, I used to be 20 steps away in January. Now I'm only 10 steps away in February. I knew that the path needed me to get down from 200 pounds to 150 pounds. And currently right now I'm at 175 and I'm closer than I ever have been. So the goal seems easier. See, with motivation, it gives you perspective. Motivation allows for you to see the opportunity and not the obstacle. See, motivation allows for you to be able to see the progress that you've made and you're encouraged. See, that's why you need motivation, because the goal seems easier. It's number three. Number four, with the right motivation, you keep your eyes on the prize. Oh, listen to me. Every time I hear that, I know all the black folks of a certain age, when you hear eyes on the prize, you start singing the song. One thing we did right was the day we started to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Yes, that's what our generation did in the civil rights movement. Yep, they, through nonviolence, what did they do? They stood there. They sat at counters. They got dogs sicked on them. They got water hoses sicked on them. What they understood is that it was going to be okay and redeemed in due time, even if they didn't see it in their lifetime, because they were focused on the prize. Their eyes were on the prize. Yep. Didn't matter whether we got talked about or thrown in jail. It's worth it. Didn't matter whether they called us something and spit on us. It was worth it. And that's what I want you to be able to get that too, to get that conviction, right? That motivation, to get that deep down in your spirit to say that it's worth it. My eyes are on the prize. There's nothing you can do to shake me. There's nothing you can do to stop me. See, when your motivation is clear, you know that you're going to close this gap at some point. Yep, all the work seems like it's worth it. Yes, you're able to press and push through. This is what we need. We just don't need a goal. We need to have the right why attached to the goal. And whoo boy, you talk about something powerful. Because now all of a sudden I'm going to push through. I'm not giving up. See, when I didn't have the right motivation, I would give up when it got difficult. But see, I got my why together now. It's conviction in my spirit. I'm not letting this thing go until it happens. Yeah, I know some of y'all believe that this year, this is why this is going to be your year, because you going to push through, because it ain't going down the way that it used to. Yeah. The other thing, the work seems worth the effort. And guess what? When the motivation's right, you actually put in more work. You actually give some more effort, because now it all makes sense. Because you're saying, I'm not losing the promise in the midst of the process. Yeah, you can, again, why you need it is because the goal seems easier. Yeah, again, it's not about if, it's just about when. It's about being able to see opportunities instead of obstacles that I'm closing this gap. And very soon, they will be on top of each other. Very soon, they'll be intertwined. That the thing that used to be unfamiliar will now be the reality of my life. Yeah, I can see it. It seems so close to me right now that I can taste it, I can touch it, I can feel it. Goal seems easier. But the fourth and final thing, it keeps your eyes on the prize. Yep, you miss out on all the distractions that are coming. Yep, you know that even if I got a good victory on the path, I celebrate it, but I don't stop because that ain't where I'm going. I keep my eyes on the prize. I keep my focus where I need to be. And that's why you need all four of those four reasons are why you need to have motivation attached to your goal in the new year. Yep, that's why this year you need motivation attached to your goal for them to go together, to go connected, for you to be able to achieve the things that you see in your mind to be the reality in which you live in. All right, listen, thank you. Thank you so much, as always, for stopping by A Moment of Clarity. Here's what I want you to do for me, though, right? Give this to 3 people. I want you to be selfish, all right? But also in the comments, what I want you to do, I want you to put 1 through 5. You got a goal in your head. I want you to put 1 through 5. 1 being little motivation, 5 meaning I got all the motivation in the world. I want you just to put a number right there in the comments and let me know. Do I got level 1 motivation, or I got level 5 motivation? Yep, so we can just check on each other and hold each other accountable. And listen, before you jump off this thing, I want to keep you encouraged and remind you of this. Just because you started out on this journey to get better, it doesn't mean that you weren't already good. So until next time,